Students/teachers of Reddit, what's the best forgot to turn off the mic story during virtual learning? I had a student give a smart-ass response to a question I asked, and before I could respond, his mom starts chewing into him and hitting him with a shankla. His mic and video was on for the whole thing. One of my students forgot to turn off his mic and you could hear him snoring. It was 8 a.m. and I teach history, and most kids just roll out of bed and get in my class. I felt this one. Not a mic but an elementary student left their camera for a moment and the mother walked by naked. Guessing she asked him to leave the room so she could change or something, not realizing the camera was left on. Could hear the jerking off sound of some kid in the background during the meeting. I was on a Zoom call at work and my husband walked in the room and didn't know I was on a call. He then proceeded to loudly sing "Would You Like to Suck My Cock" Berserker from Clerks. My co-worker just laughed super hard. Kid's brother got yelled at for watching porn. We heard the video start because it was hooked up to a Bluetooth speaker. When I was doing an online algebra camp, the teacher forgot to turn off his mic while we were supposed to be doing some problems. He said, "I fucking hate math." Just did 8-hour Zoom calls for 7 weeks training for a new project. On the second week, a man unmutes his call, farts the longest fart I've ever heard in my life, then when he finishes, mutes the call. I can see others laughing while muted at his fatal error of thinking he wasn't muted and so he went to mute his call. I found this to be the highlight of the week, but the following week the guy does it again. Honestly, the second time I laughed but then started to wonder if it was some kind of power move. I had to defend my thesis over Zoom and many professors came into the call to watch. My thesis was about immune response in fish to parasites. One professor joined late and forgot to mute her mic and we got treated to this little gem shhhh. Mommy is learning about fish parasites, which is what you'll get if you don't stop peeing in the koi pond. Some guy's mother started yelling at him, "Turn down the freaking sound, I am so sick of listening to your classes the whole day, go to the balcony and continue from there or just bloody drop out of uni," along with a set of few swear words. Our professor muted him so I don't really know what happened next. Not really anything super weird, was in a meeting with my class for the first day of school, and I had forgotten to mute myself. I then proceeded to start noisily baby talking my cat, who was in my lap at the time. Embarrassing. A girl's mom, "Who the fuck you on the computer FO this early in the morning?" And asking the same thing over and over. Teacher, I think your mic is on. Not school, but a year ago I started a new job as a construction photographer and we had an online training course we had to take when we were starting out. On the very first day I joined the call and had the mic on and my boss walked into the office and started talking to me before the class. He asked who the instructor was and I was like, "Oh, it's Jim Lastnamegwi, whatever it was." He says, "Ah, okay. That guy's really monotone and boring, unfortunately." Then I hear someone go, "And Delta, you there?" Me. Yeah. Them. Hey, yeah, when you're not actively answering a question you can go ahead and turn the mic off. The rest of the day was pretty awkward. We had this academic conference, Asians only. During one girl's presentation, someone's alarm rang. It was Señorita by Shawn Mendes. The girl stopped and waited. And waited. We were just trying to keep our poker faces. This was Japan, so no one said anything, we just waited in silence. After 2 very long minutes, the poor girl said, "I'm hearing some music, but is it just me?" The music was also louder than any speaker for some reason. The ladies running the conference didn't know how to mute all. I was taking a math and English placement test and we had a proctor that would go between 3 different students. She joined my call and all I heard was a loud sniff and man, why does it smell like coffee and butt cheeks in here? And then looked at the camera mortified when she noticed she wasn't muted. I don't know if the teacher noticed, but I was having a really boring class, so I turned off the video but not the mic and I started playing the F1 2019 game, and like 10 minutes later my friend messaged me saying that all my friends were hearing the class and vroom vroom in the background. I was on the Zoom meeting and I forgot to turn off my mic and I started singing since I got bored, and the song I was singing was Are You Winning Son? And like 13 seconds into the song and my teacher asked, Dan, are you done yet? My heart dropped and I just knew my reputation was just destroyed at that point. Oh yeah, I got bored, sorry, so my class is boring? Oh no, I got distracted. It was certainly an experience. Some random dude just said, guys, how long is it till the teacher's name shit is over? Awkward silence followed. I joined science class the other day, and the first thing I heard was a kid loudly yelling, what the fuck? The teacher's reaction to this was, Thomas, fake name, you might want to expand your lexicon. The kid shut up after that. Later, probably after he thought about it more, the teacher said, I didn't know Pokemon trainers could cuss. Is that a thing they can do? Because the kid's profile picture was a My university law professor, very intelligent guy, but very serious as well. Never laughed. Had a limp. But nobody would ever dare to make fun of him because he had a military strict aura surrounding him. Forgot to turn off his microphone in class while he was going to take a pee. He was then loudly discussing his dark-colored pee and potential prostate issues with a junior teacher who was following him around for the day, and I guess had to pee too. I never saw him the same again. My wife is in a doctorate program and she and her class had to attend a virtual lecture over Zoom. Well, the presenter had themselves muted and refused to look at the message board where her whole class was spamming "you're muted." The Zoom administrator, in the same place as the lecture, saw comments pouring in, but instead of looking said, please hold questions until the end. 20 minutes later the lecture is done and the admin says, okay, now let's take questions, sees that no one heard the lecture and just goes speechless and just ends the Zoom conference out of embarrassment. I'd be doing office hours or one-on-one conference with students and their parents would be screaming at them to stop playing games and fucking around and come down to do X, Y, or Z. One father's shoulder rushed into the student's room to scream about a dirty mug that was in the sink. Then started screaming questions about who they were talking to and was this a sex thing. Teacher was holding us like 15 plus minutes after the period had ended. She said something along the lines of keep working arduously, and I responded with, if she says arduously one more time I'm going to flip a table. I was not on mute. Girl forgot to turn off her mic and started screaming at her parents in Chinese. I wish I understood what she said. After few minutes, she gasped loudly when she realized she didn't mute it. In one of my classes, this girl wrote in the Zoom chat, this is so fucking boring, not realizing that the professor could see it. In a math class I was in last year, we were taking a test, which you have to turn your mic on for their way of trying to prevent cheating. Some girl apparently forgot that hers was on and started belting out Stand By You by Rachel Platten at the top of her lungs. It went on for the entire song and she was still humming it when I finished the test and left the call. Ironically, my IT teacher forgot to turn off his mic and camera and proceeded to get in a very heated argument on the phone with his ex-girlfriend who he has a kid with. Did I mention that she's also a teacher at our school? Yeah, most awkward 5 minutes of my life before he realized. During a virtual gym class for my high school, a girl forgot to mute herself during a workout and yelled some obscene things very loudly. Not really a mic story, but a friend of mine Facebook stalked a cute guy in their toot, before realizing she was still screen sharing. This was a conference call for work, but it was a big call with like 12 people and I'm newish, so I was really just listening as the senior analysts were discussing something. Call was going on for a while, so I took my laptop into the bathroom with me to take a shit, flushed the toilet, and everyone just stopped talking. Turns out I didn't mute my mic and everyone just heard a toilet flushing in the middle of a meeting. Luckily no one cared and they all laughed about it, but I was mortified. My mother entered the room, so I switched off the camera and the microphone, I thought, and started talking shit about the teacher with her. After 50 seconds my friend called me and told me that the microphone was on. I didn't say a word to that teacher for months after that. P.S. She was a very bad teacher. It actually happened on Friday. I have to take a training at my new workplace and it's online via Zoom. I had a horrible diarrhea that day and I could barely sit in one place, therefore I turned off the camera and the mic so the instructor didn't see my suffering and turned the mic on when I had to answer a question or something. Accidentally once I forgot to turn it back off, and when another diarrhea rush came I started to say something like, "Man bitch, hurry up, let's go to a break or I will die." I don't know if she heard it, but I think so, because a couple of minutes after we took a break. I'm a student, and my teacher was talking to his wife at first. Pretty normal, right? Well, she leaves, then he gets on the phone and says, "Yeah honey, my wife just left, wanna come over?" The entire class went batshit, bro. I asked a question on Zoom from someone and he didn't answer, no video on. I asked again to confirm he was there, silence. Hello. He then panics and says, "Sorry, I'm peeing, did I need to know that?" I didn't. We were doing presentations on ourselves on Google Slides, and this girl that went right after me said that she liked to bake as a hobby. I had forgotten to turn off my mic, and when she said that I said she likes to bake weed brownies, my teacher heard me say that and just smiled, and everyone else started to spam my phone and laugh in the class. I was really embarrassed. My mom was yelling at my sister that she did not feed the dog enough peanut butter and that he needed a whole jar of peanut butter after feeding him a couple spoonfuls, and my teacher just laughed. Online class student here. Probably when your classmate got bored and starting watching YouTube in the middle of sessions on that strict teacher. And entire class got pretty hard warnings, since the teacher can sense you immediately when you got bored by switching your attention to other things behind those screen. My cat caught a coral snake during my first period Zoom right in front of me, right outside the window. That was a little disruptive. I ran out with a stick trying to separate the cat and the snake. Then after I got my cat inside, I was afraid my cat got bit because I couldn't tell. I don't know what to look for, so I came back inside and told my students that if my cat starts having a seizure, I'm signing off and going to the vet. Student here in theater class. We were told to deliver something akin to a custom TED Talk for the class by recording ourselves with a prepared speech. I deliver my speech with a few takes, and in one of them I ended it with a "fuck yeah, I did great on that one. I'm a small quiet guy and not great at speeches." I plan to edit it out and upload that take. I definitely forgot to edit that part out as I uploaded it. My whole class and my teacher heard me in all my glory profusely swearing after giving a serious talk about women's rights and education. I immediately emailed my professor afterwards to apologize. I couldn't delete my upload or anything. Trust me, I tried LMAO. Not a mic, but someone forgot that our professor could see him and kept walking around in his underwear while smoking and eating. Our professor couldn't stop laughing and asked the guy to turn off the camera. My friend ordered wine for me, God bless her, because these first few weeks have been stressful AF. During one of my classes, there's a knock on my door and the FedEx guy shouts wine delivery. My face turned bright red because I know my students could hear it. They could hear when my neighbors across the hall were arguing, so I know they could hear this. Luckily, I had finished the lesson already, so I just ended class pretty quickly. When I set up my Zoom, I named myself Optimus Prime and then promptly forgot about it. Fast forward a few weeks, I joined in late to a lecture. Almost immediately my prof said something like, "Ladies and gentlemen, I was just informed that Optimus Prime has joined our call. May we all be on our best manners today, and show the utmost respect to our visitor." Okay, so, my district is doing the hybrid mode for school this year, meaning I have both in-person and online students in my classroom at the same time. In the middle of one of my blocks of instruction we all have our lunch break. Usually I just tell my online kids that they need to take their lunch break and then give them a time to return, and then I'm taking my lunch break and everyone is gone and it's all good. I leave my video and my mic on the computer on because no one is usually in my room at lunch. Except for last Friday. I found a cyst in my private parts and needed to call my DR to get it looked at. I used my cell phone and was taking to my OB in a normal voice but clearly discussing sensitive things. Immediately after, I got a call on my room phone and it was the mother of one of the online students who had heard the whole thing because my computer mic had not been turned off and she just wanted to let me know. I am still so embarrassed, but hey, lesson learned. Now I shut down everything for lunch. I was in a breakout room during summer bridge. I'm starting high school. I was usually careful with my mic because I was just meeting new people and wanted to leave a good impression. Anyway, we were working and chatting when my brother walked by my room and shouted, "I need to shit." Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe.